Now, I've said many times that I suffer from cold fingers. It's just one of those things. And there are times when Wendy will be going out with no gloves, and I've got gloves on but still got cold fingers. So I took the opportunity to go out the other day and test some new gloves from Vulcan Sportswear. Now, as you may remember, I tested some Vulcan heated gloves, heated socks, heated insoles, and they're very, very good. Now, when I headed out on the ride to test these gloves, I was planning to go out into the Vale of Belvoir, but just as I'm leaving my village, the road is absolutely covered in ice, and there's no way that I'm risking this. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to head back towards the town where I'm sure it's going to be a bit better. Because of all this ice on the roads, on the country roads, I've decided to come into town, but it's a Friday lunchtime and it's getting quite busy. Of course, compared with some of you, this isn't at all busy, but it is for us. Now, as usual, I'm not filtering past this traffic because people have a habit of suddenly opening doors and deciding to get out and go shopping while the lights are at stop, so I'm in no hurry. I've just come into Belton Parkland, and as some of you will know, cycling's not allowed through this park, but because we lead guided rides here in association with the National Trust, we are allowed to come in on guided rides. And what I'm checking today is that this path is suitable if we do get some frosty weather, and it is, which is superb. Now, I don't know whether they've treated it, but it's certainly clear of any ice. Now, isn't that a wonderful scene in the snow? Full antlers there, look. Beautiful. And one of the reasons I wanted to come out in this very cold weather is that I am testing yet another pair of gloves. And while the Arctic gloves from Luxebiking are excellent for the long rides I do suffer when the temperature drops close to freezing. And I have to say, I haven't tried the Arctic gloves yet on a long ride in the cold conditions, and I'll be doing that. But because I suffer particularly from cold hands, I had a call from John over at Vulcan Sports, and he said he has a new glove in and he'd like me to test it. And I did test it on a 2-day ride. Now, these gloves are very, very special because they're made of a material called Aerogel. And if you haven't heard of Aerogel, it's an incredible substance developed by NASA, as many groundbreaking products are. And what I'll do at the end of this video, there'll be a link to a totally different video explaining what Aerogel is. So if you haven't heard of it and you don't know its properties, then have a look at that video. It's fascinating. Vulcan are supplying 2 types of gloves with this remarkable material. That's a heated and unheated. Now, they've given me both to try, but today you probably can't see, but the temperature is at the moment 1 degree C. So very, very cold. So I'm wearing the heated gloves. Now, there are pros and cons with these. So for me, with the long rides I do, then these are only going to give me about 2.5 hours of constant use. That's on the high setting. Now, I'm on the high setting at the moment, and the ride today is not going to be 2.5 hours, mainly because of the conditions. The gloves have a great feel to them. They're very lightweight, and they don't actually have a liner as such. So that means you're not going to have a liner that gets sweaty and pulls away when you pull your hand out. Now, these gloves do breathe, which is important, so your hands don't get sweaty. But what I can say is, with the heating on at 1 degree C, and bear in mind we've got a bit of wind chill today, I can still feel some cold in my fingers. And that's because there's a certain amount of airflow through the gloves to stop your hands getting sweaty. And that's a good thing. But by now, other than with heated gloves, my fingers would be like blocks of ice. So these are certainly doing the job. They're keeping my hands at a stable temperature, whereas I can feel the cold wind through them, but I'm not suffering in any way. Now, these gloves have 3 heat settings. So obviously if it's not that cold, you can turn them down and you get a lot longer out of them. Now I haven't tried them on the lower settings yet because it's been so cold, but I will be doing, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot longer out of them. But certainly for my 5-hour plus rides, these are not going to work for me. However, they are light enough that I can carry them with me in the back pocket, which will also keep them warm. So if I get cold later in a ride, I can just pop these on and get an instant warm up. Now with the other Vulcan gloves I have, you do have to take the battery out to recharge, which is fine, it's not a big deal. But these are quite unique in that they have a magnetic charging system. So you just magnetically pop the charger on, the lights will come on, and you'll know you're charging. Now, as with all decent gloves for cycling, they have the obligatory finger pad to allow you to scroll on phones and devices. Now, essentially the non-heated gloves are identical, but obviously they don't have the heating elements in them or the battery, so they're even lighter. Now, on my previous test, I had one glove switched on and one off to see what the difference would be. And I have to say the difference wasn't huge because the unheated glove soon warmed up to a reasonable temperature. Now, one thing you won't find on these gloves are the heavy-duty comfort pads that you'll find on the Luxebiking Arctic gloves, for example. But for the sort of ride you're going to be doing in these, I'd say it's not necessary. What these gloves do have, though, are a grip surface, so that if you're an older person, for example, and you're walking with a walking stick, you'll have good grip. And in fact, I met a lady down the canal last year who was suffering from cold hands. I told her about the Vulcan gloves which she bought, and she's delighted because she can go and walk her dog without getting too cold. But in addition, I think people like fishermen, ramblers, those sort of people would also benefit from these. Now, I'm not sure how much you'll hear because I've got the wind suppression on the microphone, but I'm heading into a really strong headwind and it's icy cold. So it's 1 degree with this icy headwind, so it's got to be probably -1 wind chill, I would think. I can feel the chill in my fingers, but the main thing is they're not sweating and they're not cold as to be uncomfortable. Well, it's good to be back in the warm. What I didn't tell you with these new gloves is about the feel. I'm finding it quite difficult to pin down the feel. It's almost like a gel-like feel, and what it means is that the gloves actually do fit like a glove. They really do form to your fingers. What I was quite surprised with is I'd normally take a large glove, but the ones John gave me I noticed were medium, which concerned me, but they fit me beautifully. I guess it's the mix of materials that makes them fit so well. My verdict, though, from a cycling point of view, and given the sort of cycling I do, which is longer distances, I mean, in the winter even, we normally do around the 50 miles. I did find the fact that it's breathable and there's the airflow through it that did chill my hands much more than this. Now, this is acceptable, and had I not known about the original infrared glove, I would have been singing this one's praises. But for me, for cycling, this one is the better glove. But this one, if you're walking, camping, fishing, that type of thing, this is a superb glove because it's so light and flexible. So really, you pay your money, you take your choice. Now, I'm really pleased to say that John has agreed that he's going to honour the discount again this year. So it's a really healthy discount. If you check out the link below in the description, and in fact, I'll put it in a pinned comment, so you can go over there, have a look and see if that discount suits you. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and certainly for those of you that do suffer with cold hands or cold feet, because he supplies heated insoles and socks as well, then these I think you'll find are exceptional. So until next time, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.